Welcome in, everybody. It is the Week 11 show of the Fantasy Cheat Sheet presented by Going for Two Live. Before we get into the cast and the crew, it's time to hit that intro, boys.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, everyone, what is going on? Make sure you go like, subscribe on the YouTube channel and Twitch. Hit the bell for notifications. But what is going on, guys? Jamie, what is up?
Oh, not much. I just can't believe it's week 11 already. Playoffs are approaching quick, man.
Absolutely. Jordan, how you doing, my man?
I'm doing good, man. Got a couple of decisions to make in some leagues tonight, guys. I want to cut loose. Some of them I'll talk about later. But yeah, I'm ready to talk some football.
And Reg, what is up on the NorCal, boy?
Hey, we doing all right out here. We having a good year.
All right, so we got this doofus I know that's in the chat. What's up, dudes? Hey, what's up, dude?
Up?
Nice to see you, dude. All right, so let's just get straight into the show for two big pieces of news. But first off, the first one, Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs is still not off the IR, but he has been designated to return, which means his return is coming up soon. Jamie, what does this mean for the Chiefs in general, my man?
It's good to have him back, but I still think Kareem Hunt's still going to have a role. I don't know if it's going to be like a 50-50 split or if they're just going to slowly bring Pacheco back. But I still think Hunt is still going to be usable in the next couple weeks.
Jordan?
Yeah, I think he'll be useful for the next couple of weeks for sure. I mean, he has obviously 3 weeks to come back off IR. I don't think it'll be the first week, so they're going to take their time with him because Hunt has been good in his stay. It wouldn't surprise me if they took the whole 3 weeks, like the Panthers did with Jonathan Brooks. Who knows? But either way, I think Hunt will be useful. Long term for the fantasy season purposes, and then maybe come playoff time he'll be used more sparingly, but for now you don't drop Hunt just because of this news.
Reggie, what do you think about Isaiah Pacheco and the Chiefs offense?
I think it's going to be a long, slow bring back. I think this is the same injury that Tony Pollard came back last year when he was on Dallas. So I don't think it's going to be like he won't be playing for at least the next 2 games. I think until then, you won't have a split. You'll be able to rely on Kareem Hunt as long as he stays healthy.
All right, so do you want my fan take or my fantasy take?
I gotta have both.
Fantasy take, I think he's going to come back in the second week. I think it's going to be somewhat of a split, and then when it ramps up, he'll be fine. Fan take, I think that Kareem Hunt should get more of the role because save this guy for the playoffs, and then once the playoffs come in, he's not going to let you take him off the field and just run him, not run him to the ground, but just run him more. Truly believe that it's going to be like a 70-30 split by the playoffs for fantasy football. I think that might not even be that until the semis. So for the regular part of the year, I still think it's going to be Kareem Hunt, and then Pacheco might be a 50-50 at one point. All right, so we've just talked about my KC Chiefs. Jamie, who is one of your favorite players in the NFL right now?
Oh, man. Are you talking about Roshan Johnson?
Yes, I'm talking about Roshan Johnson. You got Roshan Johnson. We all love freaking DJ Moore. We all loved, everyone in the world liked Caleb Williams coming out. Some people had different opinions, but overall, Caleb Williams coming out of college. However, when you have the ineptitude of coaching staff who can't get anything done right, first you have freaking Matt Nagy. You got all year after coach after coach after coach. You got Matt Eberflus as the head coach who's on the hot seat. You got Shane Waldron as the OC, who Jackson Smith and the Jigba from Seattle said good, pretty much at the beginning of the season, said good luck. Oh, wait, Jordan, did I say that Shane Waldron was the Chicago Bears offensive coordinator? Oh, that's right. He got canned this morning. Shane Waldron is no longer the OC of the Bears. It's a running backs coach, I believe, that's taking, or some kind of offense assistant that's taking over the play calling. Shane Waldron was let go. Jamie, what do you think about this move? And then I have a question. Let's go around the horn. We got a couple minutes. Let's go around the horn real quick, and then I got a different question for all of you.
It was about time. I think Eberflus should be fired next. They need to do it sooner than later. You said the running backs coach is taking over the OC, so maybe that's
like the running backs coach. Okay, don't read into it.
So, I was gonna say maybe they'll start using their running backs correctly now. Gives Roshan a little bit more work. But besides that, no, this was a good move. It needed to happen, and they still are not done.
I just want to say this was before you go, Jordan. I want to say this was a guy who helped coach Kyron Williams last year. So give the guy credit, Jamie.
Yeah. So so it looks here the passing game coordinator.
He was a running backs coach at one point.
So he's taking over. So maybe he that doesn't mean he doesn't know running backs. So
he knows running backs. I know that.
So but no, it had to happen. I mean, Shane Waldron had the Seahawks offense looking terrible last year, and you see the difference that him being gone and Ryan Grubb taking over calling plays has made for them. So, Waldron is one of those guys who should have never got another opportunity so quickly after failing at his previous position, but we know how that goes. And Eberflus should be next. I don't know if it'll happen in season. Probably have to happen at the end of the season. Waldron is the scapegoat for now. But hopefully, man, I don't care what was the reasons. They just need to fix this offense. I don't know who can do it. But it can't get much worse than what we saw last Sunday. It was terrible. So I'm hoping for better things. They have too many talented players on offense for it to look this bad. I know they're banged up on the offensive line, and that's something that a coach can't necessarily fix, calling plays, but they just look broken right now, and they're too talented to look this bad.
Reggie.
It's crazy because I was listening earlier, and according to PFF, 3 of their offensive linemen their offensive line is ranked in the top 14 in the league, like number 14. But I thought that was shocking to hear. And also, like, it just seems like, was this the dollar store purchase of an offensive coordinator? I don't think they're going to be firing Eberflus. They need to get him on out of there. But I heard also the Bears have never fired a head coach in season ever in history. So we're going to have to wait and just watch it all burn, baby. Everything burns.
All right. So you brought up what? Okay. So you brought up one of my points that I was going to bring up in my rant about them not ever firing a head coach. Fine. That's hunky dory. I saw something else today that caught me on Twitter that made me think, and this is what I wanted to pose to you guys. There's been 2 offensive coordinators fired so far this season. Yes, there's been a coach fired in Dennis Allen, but there's been 2 OCs fired. Luke Getsy of the Raiders, who was in Chicago last year, not very good, and now Shane Waldron fired. Both teams had 2 interviews with a certain offensive coordinator who neither one hired. That guy was then hired to be an offensive coordinator on another team. That team is overproducing with their rookie quarterback. They are doing good. I think they have 2 losses, if I'm correct. And that is the Washington Commanders and Cliff Kingsbury. So was this, obviously they made the wrong move, but was this because of Cliff or is this because of what I'm saying is was this the perception of Cliff? Because we all know he had that perception in Arizona with what he had going on with Kyler. Was this a Cliff issue, or is this, and I think I know the answer for one of them guaranteed, the team out there that used to be up by you, Reggie? Or is this just the ineptitude of two franchises that can't get shit right? Reggie, we'll start with you.
I think as far as I would love to see what is Kingsbury making versus Waldron. Was it a money thing? Like who's cheaper? Like I wasn't kidding. What they're throwing, like what did Getsy get? They're not spending up.
I saw it.
They're not spending up for these OCs, so they're just budgeting their funds. I mean, you get what you put in. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering, pay wise, are these competitive wages that they're firing, or are they just retreads?
Jamie, what do you think while Jordan's doing his investigating?
I don't know, man. I don't even know what to think. It's probably those teams are just doomed. Dumpster fires. Washington, I mean, they probably are doing better just because of Cliff Kingsbury, which even if you put Cliff on the Bears or the Raiders, I don't think that would have even helped them.
Okay.
Well, it looks here, Shane Waldron is one of the top paid offensive coordinators. He's making $2 million. This is according to Front Office Sports. He was tied for sixth offensive coordinator. So I'm trying to see the whole entire list here. Blah, blah, blah. All right.
Jordan's sports investigative tools for work coming in handy.
So yes, all right. So we're looking at Todd Monken and Mike Kafka with the Giants are the two highest paid at $3 million. Kellen Moore, Ken Dorsey, Nathaniel Hackett. Then Arthur Smith, Shane Waldron, and Ben Johnson all make the same. That's insane considering Ben Johnson is actually really good at his job. But yeah, so that's what it looks like right here. Luke Getsy was making $1.5 million.
Gotcha. Okay, so with Waldron,
Kafka is the problem. Why yeah, with that list?
Cliff Kingsbury isn't in the top unless his contract just wasn't reported because I couldn't find numbers from him.
Yeah.
This was as of June 17th, and I don't remember exactly when Cliff Kingsbury was hired because I know he spurned the Raiders at the last minute, and I don't remember exactly when that was.
Yeah, I'm not sure. All right, so that's the news. Let's get it real quick into Monday Night Football. What a great game, guys. What a barn burner. Miami wins 23-15 to improve to 3-6, which improve in the slightest bit. That division's a little tough right now, so that's why I say improve to 3-6. Rams fall to 4-5, which that division is getting tougher, so that's not good for them. Tua, 207, 1 touchdown, 1 interception. Stafford, 293 with 1 interception. Jalen Waddle, 3 catches, 57 yards. Puka, 9 catches for 98 yards. Jamie, what you taking away from this hellhole of a game?
Man, nothing in this game went the way I thought it was going to. I thought Tua was going to get closer to 300, not Stafford. But if you told me Stafford was going to throw for almost 300 yards, you'd think he would get a touchdown or two, but no, he did not. I was disappointed in Kyren Williams because I took the 80-plus yard bet because the Dolphins all year long, every single running back that faced them had over 80 yards. So I'm like, that's a lock because Kyron's going to get like 80% of the work. But nope, couldn't even do that for me. I bet the touchdown for Kyron. That didn't happen. Yeah.
You talk so much crap about him. He just decided.
The one time I actually go all in on him, he disappoints me. It's bad. But yeah, I mean, even like Puka and Cup, they had solid days. I just wish one of them got a touchdown. It would have been nice. Cup getting that. I put a touchdown bet on both of them. That didn't happen. Waddle, I was actually I think I hit the numbers on Waddle. I think I took 50 plus, and he got me what? I think he got 55, 57, something like that. So yeah, that worked. But bad game. I'm just not gonna bet Monday night games again because I never get them right. I even took the lowest over under at 39.5. Didn't even hit that.
Jordan, what do you think about this lovely game?
I'm not gonna go all the way to overreacting because they have a game against the Raiders next week, and if it goes how it's been going, then I'm gonna be upset. But the Dolphins' offense just doesn't move.
They're not clicking. They're not clicking like they were.
No, it's and I know Tua needed some time. It's been 3 games since he's been back. They've put up points, but the passing offense just hasn't looked like what we wanted it to look like. Tyreek Hill has been non-existent at times. We all know Jalen Waddle has been non-existent. There's a lot of Jonnu, a lot of Achane. I like that as a heavily invested Achane owner, but overall, it's just not what we expected out of the passing game as a whole, and that's been disappointing. So far, like I said, they play the Raiders next week, and if they get back on track in that game, then maybe we can see them trending back up. But for now, it's just been disappointing so far for all of us who invested in Tyreek Hill and who waited. Tua threw for almost 5. I think he might have threw for 5,000 last year. Obviously, he missed a lot of games, but it's just the yardage hasn't been there so far. They look like they've been kind of, I don't know, not throwing it as much. Their defense is playing better the last couple. Last night they played well for sure, so they didn't have to throw it as much. But I'm just worried about this passing offense, and I didn't think I would as long as Tua was healthy.
Reggie.
We didn't see much. We saw they like to spread the ball around. We're getting carries from 3 different running backs. They want to get Odell involved, Jonnu Smith involved. They getting the rookie involved. We're not getting any concentrated focus or on who we want it from. So until then, they're still talented. We know that, but it's just the offense feel like they got to get everybody involved, and that's not necessary. But they got to win.
Right. And then even doing all of that, Tua still isn't putting up a lot of numbers. So, and that's the frustrating part overall.
Absolutely. Don't have much to add in this game. The only thing I really say was Stafford, like that he did not look, the offensive line looked scared. He looked like by the second half, he was expecting the pressure. And when you're a quarterback and you're expecting the pressure, that's never good. And he still was able to give Puka 98 yards. So, I mean, I give him credit for that. But like you said, Jamie, if you would have told me that he would have had that many yards, I would have guaranteed you that he would have had at least 1 touchdown. But
there's a couple of bloopers and fumbles that, like, at the end of plays, it was just a bunch of weird stuff.
It was just weird. It was a weird game in general. All right. So that is Monday night. Let's just get straight into the heart of the show. Let's get into real or fake. Jamie, why don't you just kick it off with your real player of the week?
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey, he's finally back. People were waiting all year for this. He got the majority of the running back carries, and he also was heavily involved in the passing game. I think he had 6 catches. Finishes top 10 this week. That's probably going to be the lowest he's probably going to finish all year, the rest of the year, I think. So this is just the beginning for him. I mean, he's going to help so many people win championships. Just hope that you traded for him, because if you were holding on to him this whole time, you're probably not going to enjoy getting into the playoffs because it's too late. So, yeah, hopefully you got him now. You might even be able to still get him now. A little bit cheaper than that RB1 right now, since he did finish as the 10th overall running back.
Yeah,
but yeah,
10th in PPR, 11th in half.
Yeah, so he's just going to continue this all year. He's going to be heavily involved. He's going to get all the snaps. So wheels up for him.
All right, so here's my opinion. He's a stud. He's going to be great. 100% real. He showed, like, I was a tiny bit concerned what they were going to do with timeshare, what they were going to do. Not necessarily saying 50-50, but were they going to ease him in, or were they just going to go for it? And they went for it. If he would have had 1 touchdown with all those all-purpose yards that he had, 1 touchdown would have put him at RB3 for the week. So that just shows that once he gets moving, he'll be fine. don't worry about CMC. Plug him in your lineup, and if you can get him. But I don't think you're going to be able to at this point. Reggie, what do you think about CMC?
I think if you held him all this time and you're in second place, woohoo! It's time to ride the money to the bank.
Hey, I'm in a dynasty league that I drafted him 5 years ago, and I thought I was going to be out of it because I had him and Tua and a bunch of injuries, and I'm in third place, and then he comes back. I'm like, all right, I'll take it.
Right. So I enjoy it. I think his will's up. It looked like they did kind of pace him just a little bit,
Yeah.
but that was fine. He got a healthy load. He's going to get more and more work, and the touchdowns will come. So we're gonna like that volume regardless in that offense.
All right, Jamie. I understand this, but I don't like it. Go ahead.
So yeah, my fake is John Mechie. Some people probably don't even know who this guy is. So for the people that don't know, he was drafted in 2022. He was an early second-round pick in the NFL draft. The reason he's not on people's radars is because he was diagnosed with a form of leukemia. It's actually one of the most curable forms with like a 90% cure rate. So he's good to go now. But dynasty managers, I don't know if you remember, people are drafting him in like the mid to late second rounds of rookie drafts. Not many people held on to him because every time someone dropped him, I ended up just picking him up. He didn't play all his rookie season. Last year, I think he had 33 targets all year, and that included 2 playoff games. But his past week, man, was his first ever usable fantasy game, and I guarantee no one ever played him. This is going to be a 1-week thing for him. We need to see a lot more consistent games like this before you could actually consider putting him in your lineup or even rostering him. So unfortunately for Mechie, if Nico and Dell are both active, he's going to be maybe the third or even fourth target on that team behind Schultz and possibly even a running back. So he may be the fifth target on the team. So yeah, don't expect much from Mechie. I wouldn't waste too much fab on him. And that's why I think it's a fake performance for now.
Reggie, what do you think about Mr. Mechie, even though I know we all know about him?
Right. I think he's had a couple of opportunities this season, and the fact they went out and got Stephon Diggs and brought him in told me all I needed to know about John Mechie. Maybe he'll be a journeyman. Maybe he'll catch on later, but I don't think I want to be putting him in my lineup or even rostering it. You know, I go deep.
Yeah, I think it's definitely a fake, just more so because of Nico Collins not playing. Like Reggie said, Mechie had an opportunity. He played 65% of the snaps Sunday night against Detroit. The week before that against the Jets, he played 63% and got 2 targets and no catches. So it's hit or miss. And now with Nico coming back and Dale's going to be healthy, he's going to slide into that third role. And obviously that is not a good role for anybody in that offense because Tank Dale has struggled as the third receiver in the offense so far earlier this year when Diggs and Nico were healthy. So yeah, it's not somebody I want to count now unless Dale goes down or Nico gets hurt again or something like that, then yes. But for now, with everyone status quo healthy, I don't really want to. You can't count on him at all. So you can, if you played him, kudos to you this week, but you can drop him once Nico is active.
Yeah, absolutely. I have him in a couple of deep dynasty, but other than
not dynasty leagues.
No. But no, I'm saying, but Reggie said he would. I do have him in a couple of deep dynasty, but other than that, but Reggie, I'm talking if it's not a 35, if it's not a 30, 35, like I ain't touching it. All right, before we go to Jordan, let's treat this like it is redraft for now. Put this trade question up. Meet the GOAT. Hey, trade question. Trade Scary Terry and J.K. Dobbins for Cup and Chubb.
No.
I want Terry and J.K.
Yeah. Nick Chubb's schedule is horrible. He plays the Saints this week, but after that, it's like Pittsburgh and the Baltimore. And no, I don't want any of Nick Chubb.
And like Jamie has said over and over, which Jamie's actually right on it, you don't want to run against Baltimore. You just want to pass. So he's not the type of running back to succeed against Baltimore. Jamie, what do you think? I know your answer, but what do you think?
Yeah, I'm taking Scary, Terry, and JK. I know Gus Edwards is coming back. That might hurt JK a little bit, but I don't see it given too much of his production because I don't even think Jake Edwards is a goal line running back, or he hasn't been lately.
Yeah.
The only thing I guess if you need it is Cup and Chubb have had their bye already. I know Scary Terry still has his in week 14. So if that's what you're worried about, maybe. But I don't know. I like Cup and all, but JK and Terry overall is a better duo.
Absolutely. All right. So, Jordan, why don't you get right into your real player of the week?
It's another 49er, but I'm going to go with Jawan Jennings. Led the team in targets with 11. I'm not saying that's going to happen every week, but this is a guy that Brock Purdy has obviously shown he has confidence in. Anytime somebody was hurt, Jawan Jennings balled out. And now with IU gone for the season, it just feels like this is his time to be productive in his offense. I'm just looking back. Obviously, he had that 46-point game earlier in the season with 12 targets in that game. Then, IU started playing better, and then Jennings had been hurt the last couple of weeks before the bye. He came back healthy, played 91% of the snaps with 11 targets. So, yeah, I think this is going to continue moving forward. This is an offense that you want to have a part of. I know CMC is back getting targets. Debo is going to get more than, I think, 6 targets he had last week. But Jennings is here to stay, and it's somebody wide receiver 3-ish, low end wide receiver 2 range that you could count on.
All right, I'm going to keep mine nice, simple, and short. 100% agree with you. I do think he's closer to the top end 3, like 2 low end 2, top end 3 every week kind of guy, as long as he keeps getting the targets. Yes, you have Debo, whatever. Pearsall's doing his thing, but the thing with Jennings is that reliable guy that he's gonna catch. He's not gonna drop. He's gonna catch the ball. He's gonna do what he's gonna do. So yes, he is a real player. Jamie.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely want a piece of this offense. It's the wide receiver 2 in that offense. Yeah, he might be the 4th in targets behind Kittle, Debo, and who am I missing?
McCaffrey.
McCaffrey. So. Yeah, definitely. He's probably not going to get 11 targets, but even if he gets 7 targets, he could catch 6 balls, and that's going to put him in that wide receiver 3 range. So, yeah, give me Jennings all day.
All right, Jordan. Baltimore has a wide receiver that I thought was going to score a touchdown last week. I look up, and I saw that it wasn't number 18. Because I had that player in the lineup. I saw someone else tiptoeing down the sideline. So why is this player a fake?
He's a fake for the reason that you mentioned. Tylan Wallace. I mean, like Jamie mentioned earlier, we didn't know if nobody knew who John Mechie was. I doubt people knew who this Tylan Wallace is.
2021 Oklahoma State wide receiver.
Well, kudos to you, buddy, because I didn't know who he was.
I have a problem.
But no, 3 targets, 115 yards. He caught an 84-yard pass for a touchdown. Deontay Johnson, they already mentioned it. He's going to start playing more. He's gotten practices under his belt. He's going to step in. Bateman is still there, getting targets, scoring touchdowns. Obviously, Zay Flowers is the number 1 in the offense. Tylan Wallace is going to disappear once they get Deontay up to speed in the way they feel comfortable with him playing majority of the snaps. So once that happens, you can forget about this. This was a blip, not a trend of Tylan Wallace. So you could just flush it out. Won't happen again this season.
All right. Who is up on this one? Jamie, take it away. Or no. Me. Sorry. No, Reggie, go.
No, but yeah, we already know this. I think I had some hopes for him coming out of Would you say Oklahoma State?
Yep.
But yeah, no, this is just one of those one-offs. This was Nelson Aguilar must have been inactive or something. It must have been his birthday, something they got him the ball. They hyper-focused and there's 3 targets. Did he catch them all?
Yes.
Don't put your trust in it.
All right, so before we throw it over to your players, Reggie, this is a dynasty question, so I'm going to throw it to you first. Should I trade Benson, a 25 and a 26 second for Derrick Henry? I'm guessing it's one spot. I'm currently a spot out of the playoffs. So he's going to trade Benson and 2 seconds for Henry.
That's like Henry at his ceiling. Like in
No.
No, I'm not buying that. I would have to be the Henry owner. I like Benson in 2 seconds. I don't think so. No.
All right.
Currently one spot out. Oh, Benson may be. Yeah, no. Benson may come on.
Jordan,
Put faith in that.
I'm with him. I like Derrick Henry, but Derrick Henry's 30. And like the Benson and the 2 seconds, I couldn't do it. And I'm not even a huge dynasty guy, but I don't think I would make that trade.
all right. You know who I'm asking next, Jamie.
Yeah, if you take Benson out and do the 2 seconds, or take one of the seconds out, then I would do it. But no, I'm not paying all that for Derrick Henry. 2 seconds is plenty.
I'm doing it for Benson and a 26.
Yeah.
That's pretty much 3 seconds. Let's just say if you just re-roll.
Yeah.
3 seconds.
Gladys, what is going on? How you doing tonight? And let's see what else is up here. Who's the king? All right.
The king himself. Thank you for pulling up.
Reggie, take it away with your reel.
Oh, my reel, it makes me want to upchuck when I call it Calvin Ridley of the Tennessee Titans, and that's the emoji that I put on.
Yes, you did.
I put on the show sheet today, and the volume he's going to get is going to make him playable week in and week out. There's buys coming up. I almost made a mistake 2 weeks ago of trading him for a 3rd round pick, and I came to my senses and slapped myself with my coffee before I put that out in the ether. I think he's going to get all the targets he can get in Tennessee and earn his money. And I'm not in any position to trade for him, but I'm not trading him away. And this is real. I think he's going to produce like this for the rest of the season.
All right, so there's a reason I put my name first. And then you just beat me to it. Because I did trade him away for peanuts last couple of weeks ago when I needed to start trading pieces away. I did trade him away. But at the same time, at this point in that league, I'm okay with trading him away because I'm not in the hunt. I'm way down in the bottom, and I don't think he's going to continue this all the way till next year or the year after. So I'm good with getting what I could. Good for him for doing what he's doing because guess what? Did anyone think he was going to do it with freaking Mayonnaise Boy as his freaking quarterback? No. So that's that. I mean, I did not think that was going to be a thing.
And he did it with both of them.
Yeah,
right?
It was either one. I mean, him and Rudolph. Jamie, what do you think about Ridley? Because I know you have had opinions about Ridley for the past 2 years on this show.
Yeah. I got to say this performance is fake only because he did really well against a good secondary, and that's a fake performance. Like, he shouldn't have done that well. But going forward, he does have one of the easiest schedules for receivers. So I can't imagine what he's going to do with 8, 9, 10, 11 targets a game. It's going to be crazy. So I expect him to, with the only receiver in that offense, he's going to keep seeing the volume. And that hurts to say because I'm not a Ridley fan. But he's
like 30 or what is he, 29? He does not feel that old. Is he 30 already?
He was an old rookie, though. That's the thing.
And he took the time off, and that just played into it. All right, Reggie, Who is your fake?
I'm going to go with no other than Mike Williams. He just found a new home, got 3 snaps, and caught a long touchdown. I know that Russell Wilson moonball, and I take it back. I stuck up for Justin Fields. I think that was last week or a couple weeks ago. Russell Wilson is doing his thing. But yeah, no, Mike Williams, I don't think people should run out and go grab him because we all dropped him. Don't waste your roster spot. I think he is good for this offense. He's good for the NFL, but it's going to be it's fake. He didn't do much. He didn't even get many snaps. He's good for that offense. I thought he was going to be redundant, but we all said he should have went there. This will not be a resurgent. He does not know how to land with the ball.
Jamie?
Shoot, man. Like, he played 12% of snaps, and he ended up scoring over 10 fantasy points. It just worries me that if he gets more snaps as time goes on, it's going to eat away from other people in that offense. So I'm going to say, I mean, it's a fake because he got 10 fantasy points on what you said, 3 snaps. Yep. But going forward, I mean, I'm not going to say he's not going to be able to score 10 to 15 fantasy points playing 60, 70%. So it's hard. It's hard with that one, man. Like, I don't want to put him in my lineups, but I can't say, yeah, he's never going to do this again, especially with the schedule they got coming up.
Yeah, Jordan.
Yeah, I agree. It's one of those things where obviously this performance was fake because 3 snaps, like, come on, you made the most of those snaps. But moving forward, as he continues to build, this is like him just getting acclimated to the offense and stuff like that. He's more talented than the other guys besides George Pickens to me. So, eventually he's going to earn more playing time. And at that point, then we could kind of reevaluate. And I wouldn't put it past him to catch another touchdown at some point, jump ball, them rafter touching throws that Russell Wilson has. So it's fake for now, but I want to see more from it. I think I will.
We're going to weigh those targets from Russell Wilson versus Aaron Rodgers. We looked at the numbers deep a couple of weeks ago on his performance and everything. I just think it's going to be good for the team because now Calvin Austin can stick to his role and work over the middle of the field on those sweeping plays. So he is definitely good to have another wide receiver that lets somebody else do something else.
For sure.
Yeah, absolutely. Jamie, will you answer that for me while
I don't know. It was in one of the backgrounds that Jeff uploaded, so I liked it. Probably like an ESPN studio.
I believe it's the NFL Network's out their loaded thing. All right, so for my real, and I know I wrote 2 down, but for my real, who's talking about this one first? I got Jamie and then Reggie. All right. So I'm going with the second one. My real is the tight end position. And the reason I am saying that the tight end position is real is guess who's back? Back again. Tight ends are back. Tell a friend. All right. Not saying super high numbers because 16.4 in half point PPR, 16.4 is the number 1 tight end. But earlier in the year, we were having weeks that it was Mike Gesicki and Jonnu Smith and Jamie's favorite tight end of all time, Hunter Henry and Dalton Schultz, when those weren't drafted as the top people. I'm not going to say which one, but there is a tight end in this group that is going to be brought up later, so I'm just going to bring up a couple names and then I'll talk about the top. But if I was to tell you that the top 7 or the top 6 tight ends on the week all scored over 10 points, and those top 10 were TJ Hawkinson, George Kittle, Tanner Hudson. Obviously, I know he's the anomaly. But then Sam Laporta, Mark Andrews, and Travis Kelce. I do believe this is more. I do believe this is more to come. Kelce's finding his groove. He's doing better now that Hopkins isn't part of the offense. Mark Andrews is finally back in the fold, full go. He's doing better the last couple weeks. He's gotten touchdowns multiple weeks. Sam Laporta did good this week. Kittle, Hawkinson's off the was off the IR, but then you have Kittle that's come back. So overall, I just think the tight end position, the top guys that we were expecting, they're finally producing like we thought they would, even though it's only 1 week so far. But hopefully, and I expect this to continue down the road. Jamie.
Yeah, no, I agree. Tight ends are definitely back. We got a Laporta. He had 2 good games in the past 3 weeks, but unfortunately, I think he suffered a shoulder injury.
Yeah.
So we don't know if he's going to be able to
We
play.
don't know yet. Yep.
I mean, I got a couple lineups where I have a tight end in my spot, and then I'm playing like 2 tight ends at flexes. And it was bad for a while, but not now. It's actually starting to work out a little bit better.
Absolutely. With that, I mean, last week I had to play Mike. The week that Gesicki went off, I ended up having to play him in a super flex. And talk about getting lucky. He was in my super flex spot. Reggie, what do you think about the tight ends?
I think it feels good to get the repeat offenders back at the top of the race. And I kind of been holding out for it, kind of anticipating that this was going to happen. So it's wheels up for the tight ends, and I think it has something to do with like the defense is selling in. We all know who's running a 2-over shell. We all know who's running zone 1 deep. I've been seeing a lot of 1 single safety in the middle field way back there a lot. And these offensive coordinators are using the data that we've gotten so far in the season, and they're putting these tight ends in better positions than they were previously in the season from what I've seen. The tight end position is these quarterbacks are making it happen, and these offensive coordinators are putting these tight ends in positions to win more so than in the beginning of the season.
Oh, for absolute sure. And I just think that overall they're finally doing something right.
And these defenses are banged up. So there's attrition on both sides of the ball, offense and defense, and we're starting to see it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. All right, so I almost didn't put this person on the fake because to me this was like a freaking Shaquille O'Neal layup. But I did it anyway. You guys all know that I usually don't do this. This is one time that I'm like, you know what, I'm going to do it. Marquez Valdez-Scantling. 3 targets, 3 receptions, 109 yards, 36.33 yards per catch, 2 freaking touchdowns. On the week, only Jamar Chase was better than this guy who wasn't even on the Saints at the beginning of the goddamn year. Yes, I understand that the team down in Jordan's neck of the woods has lost almost every wide receiver that was on their starting roster on week 1. I understand that. Okay, they've even lost Bub Means. I mean, Marcus Tipton, or is that his name? Tipton?
Yeah,
he's starting. I mean, for God's sakes, their best wide receiver, and I don't mean like overall like gonna score the most points, but their best like pass catching wide receiver might be Cedric Wilson. Okay, so that is why this happened. You have a quarterback that likes to drop back, see a flash, and throw it. That is one of the reasons that we love Carr for Rashid Shaheed, because Rashid Shaheed could run the ball or run down the field so like MVS. You know who this reminds me of, Jamie?
Who's that?
It's going to be like freaking Gabe Davis.
Oh, geez.
We just saw MVS, and now we're not going to see him for another 6 weeks. All right, Jordan. Why am I right? Why am I right?
This dude has been on the team for less than a month. Like you said, they lost every receiver that they had. Carr can throw a deep ball, and he showed that the guy has speed. We are unsure if he will haul in the pass, but he was able to haul in those touchdowns Sunday. So yeah, I don't see it. I mean, he may. I mean, as crazy as this sounds, he may take on that Rashid Shaheed role and continue it moving forward. We can't expect 2 touchdowns every week. We can't expect Carr to look good again either. And this was one of those games where you fire your coach and then the team plays well on both. So I see that wearing off somewhat. They're not as bad as they were in the losing streak, but they're not as good as they were those first 2 games either. So we can fall somewhere in the middle. And but yeah, it's a fake performance. You can't count on him or anybody besides Kamara on the Saints offense.
Wait, can you trust Kamara to catch a pass? Because I don't.
Well,
think
he's
you can.
sold on that. I don't know what happened.
I was like, what are you doing?
I don't know what happened.
That could have sealed the game.
I was playing against somebody who had him, so I was happy. But like watching that in real time, like it looked like he, like, I don't know. It looked like he was trying to drop a. I don't know. I'm not saying he was throwing the game on purpose, but
he was more open than Tyreek Hill against the freaking 49ers in the Super Bowl.
It was bad. It was a bad drop.
Reggie, what do you think about Marquez Valdez-Scantling?
I am protesting this question. This is fake. No, but don't. How dare you slander Foster Monroe? He got me a win this year, or some Taysom Hill. I'll play some Taysom. But they got a bye coming up. I'm staying away from the Saints pretty much.
All right, not disagreeing. All right, Jamie, let's do it. It is time for Jamie's buy and sell of the week. I need to find a color that doesn't blend in. The green blends in, and now the white blends in. I am getting mad at myself here. All right, Jamie, go ahead.
All right, so my buy of the week is T.J. Hawkinson. So as Mike said earlier, tight ends are back. Hawkinson, past 2 weeks, he's been playing 45% of the snaps. He usually plays 80%. So they're working him back in slowly, but he's getting the targets when he's on the field. So, like, if that's working him back slowly, yeah, give me that all day. Like, he got 9 targets, 8 receptions, 70-some yards. Like, the Vikings already had their bye week. So there's another plus. And week 16 and 17, he faces the Seahawks and the Packers, which should both be competitive games. And both are good matchups for tight ends in like the top 12 for points against. So I'm buying Hawkinson now, and he's going to help me win a title.
Jordan, what do you think about T.J. Hawkinson?
Yes, I like him. The only thing about the Vikings, and I mentioned this earlier this year when I was kind of down on Jordan Addison, the pass volume isn't where you would like it to be on a consistent basis. Obviously, they want to try and limit the amount of times Sam Darnold is dropping back, which is, they're dumping it to the running backs. They're doing those type of things. But I like Hawkinson. They used him a lot. He instantly became a safety blanket when they needed a first down on third down. He caught a couple of those as I was kind of glancing back and forth through the game. So, yeah, it's going to be somebody they rely on. It's just that though 9 targets, I don't know if that's something you'll be able to count on a consistent basis. You may get more along the lines of that 6 to 7 range. And on a given week, that may not be – I mean, given the state of tight ends, it'll be good. So he'll be somebody that you can rely on. Just I don't know if you can rely on those 9 targets moving forward.
Jamie, why don't you give us your buy or sell of the week?
So I'm selling George Pickens. I'm not giving him away. I'm going to need a good return for him. But I know we talked about Mike Williams earlier. I think this caps his ceiling. Mike Williams got that 1 target, and it was a 10-point play. That should have went to Pickens. And I just think it's, as it goes on, like, it's going to take away from Pickens right now. So that worries me a little bit. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm worried about him. He had a top 5 performance this week. He should have been number 2 if it wasn't for that Calvin Ridley and Tylan Wallace or MVS. So technically, I would put him at number 2, but he had a top 5. I'm going to capitalize on that top 5 performance and sell him as high as I can right now. Because I see it's going to be more of a split going forward when Mike Wallace starts getting more involved.
Go ahead, Rich.
I would like to move off of some George Pickens. I think I got 1 share, but I came into this season thinking I would be able to flip him by now, and I'm not able to give what he's providing me at this, especially right now. So I'm not. I wish I can get more. I can't get a high second, a late first. I can get a late first, but it still feel like I'm getting out. I'm getting out cheap. Like
You should be able to get a mid first or at least a mid.
All right. So Jordan, what is your randomness of the week?
So I'm back on dropping guys are, referring people that you can drop if you have to make a waiver crunch or you're looking for people to kind of offload off your rosters as we get closer to the playoffs. And a couple of guys that shouldn't be no surprise. This is mostly for 1 quarterback leagues and or the shallower, like 12-team leagues, depending on how big your benches are, 10-team leagues as well, obviously. Caleb Williams, I don't care about Shane Waldron being gone. I'm done with him and that offense. The Bears have Mike Wallace. The Bears have one of the tougher schedules, if not the toughest schedule remaining. They face a lot of good defenses, so I'm done with Caleb. Also, let me go back and look at this right quick. Tyler Conklin, the Jets are a mess. I thought he could be a sleeper tight end that you could rely on. That has proven to be incorrect. You can move off of him. Chris Olave, the concussions have gotten to him. His season looks like it's over with. So you can cut him loose. Dalton Kincaid is someone that I've kind of recently just added to this list of people that I would consider dropping if I had someone that I felt could contribute more to me winning. Any time he was given an opportunity to be like the number 1 guy, just never really panned out, whether it was through injury or just bad luck. And it just seems like that's going to continue. He has a knee injury now, and he may miss next week, and then they have a bye after that. So you can probably cut him loose or find another tight end that could give you the 4 points that he gave you last week. And then the last one, this was Jamie's guy last week, but I'm ready to cut him loose after what I've seen. And knowing that Dak is going to be out for the rest of the season, Jalen Tolbert, peace, buddy. Cooper Rush threw for 45 yards, not on one play, not on a drive, the entire time he played. And he had
hurts my soul.
And he had 23 throws. And then Trey Lance came in and looked horrible. And so it doesn't look like Rush will be better than the 45 yards I anticipate. But he threw the ball to CeeDee Lamb and Jake Ferguson only, pretty much. And that left no room for Tolbert. So I think until they prove otherwise, you can let him go as well.
Yeah. Does any thoughts about those players? We'll start with you, Jamie.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to drop Kincaid, but I agree. I mean, there's got to be better options out there from what he's been putting up. I want to add Devin Singletary to that list.
Facts.
He could be dropped. Even Javonte Williams and Jaleel McLaughlin.
I want to give him one more.
I was going to say, hold on, but those are people that you can consider. Even Cole Kmet. You could drop Keenan Allen.
I was going to say everybody on the Bears.
Everyone on the Bears. Like, even Romadunze and DJ Moore, I know. Yeah. But, and then Jonathan Brooks, I don't know if it's worth holding on to him anymore, man.
It is only for one reason. You've done it this far. You might as well wait at least one of his weeks to see what happens.
But now you have to take him off an IR spot and actually hold him on your roster.
Yeah.
And then to know that Chuba got an extension
and a bye.
Yeah, and it's just like, I don't know.
I know somebody you can add on there. You can do a sabotage drop and drop Taysom Hill. He has one good matchup and then a bye coming up and then a hard matchup, I think, against Cleveland.
Yeah. Something like
So there is a sabotage drop. You can, because somebody will be like, "Oh, I'm gonna get Taysom because you got one good matchup, but you're gonna have to carry him through the bye, and you can go out there and get somebody else." I don't want to say a name because I'm gonna
But
butcher it.
is that matchup against tight ends, because he does play out wide, he does play in the slot, in the backfield, at quarterback.
Reggie, why don't you finish your take and then go right into your quote?
Okay. But what does this fantasy playoffs look like? We're going to roll into our quote of the week. And I watched this game. I love the London games for some reason. I wake up at the butt crack of dawn in this bitch. So I mean, it'd be perfect. It's like it's the cheat sheet because I get an extra game. I don't know what that does to me. You know, I even power through my nap time. I don't be needing my nap. I don't know what it is, but anyway. Coach Brian Daboll for the New York Giants was asked by a reporter, "Did you think about a quarterback change at halftime?" And his response, and this is a quote, "No, I thought we can get something going, which we did. Started out slow, had some opportunities here, but did not." Wait, what? Can we try English for one? And I copy and pasted because that's exactly what he said. And I watched that game, and Daniel Jones had a couple of layups. You know, I mean, he would have somebody wide open and it sells far right, or it's way over their head, or he'll throw a hospital ball when he can throw it away. Like, I don't know why you're still semi in this game and it was not considered. They could not stop Chuba Hubbard to save their life. They have an explosive running back that you cannot sustain drives with Daniel Jones because he keeps shooting himself in his pinky toe. Like,
you hear that, Jamie?
This quote, I just be like, how long do we have to suffer through this? When are we going to see somebody else?
So I'm gonna say this. Yes, Daniel Jones stunk at times, but part of those turnovers was on Tyrone Tracy. Obviously, he fumbled in overtime, and then the interception hit both of his hands. But it was a good play by Josie Jewell, I think it was. But yes, Daniel Jones, man, on the flea flicker that he took a sack on, Rondale was running across the field wide open, and he was open from the beginning of the play. It was rough. And I actually, like you, sat down and watched that, and it was painful.
He missed on a couple of first downs that would have kept drives going, and it was like layups. It was like, who are you throwing? Are you nervous? You need
Reggie,
a hug?
Reggie, did you watch that live?
Yeah.
Okay, Jordan, here's the difference. Reggie,
like 6:30 a.m.
Reggie chose to watch that at 6:30 a.m.
yeah, it was 8:30 for me. So
yeah, exactly. All right, Jamie, I'm giving you the floor.
Well, I mean, just as bad as Daniel Jones was in that game, he still ended up almost a top 12 quarterback this week. He's not the worst Jones quarterback. Hint, Mac Jones.
Oh,
he was horrible this week. So, but no, I was disappointed in Daniel Jones this week. I had him at, I think, QB9, and he ended up being QB13. So I know I was probably a little bold on him. He did disappoint me.
Oh, he disappointed me too.
Yeah, I want to see what Drew Lock has, but that's the thing about the backups. It's like we've seen Drew Lock play football before, and he hasn't been great. So, like, yes, Daniel Jones has looked bad at times, but will Drew Lock look much better? And
Probably
and Drew Lock doesn't run like Daniel Jones from a fantasy perspective, so it may help the receivers. So.
You beat the Eagles last year. Well, I guess everybody beat the Eagles last year.
At the end, particularly.
Jordan, cue me up.
Oh, damn. We had that point already. It's time for the rant of the week. He left the spot blank, so now we all got to just be surprised at what the rant is going to be this week.
Well, it's blank because it was supposed to be the Bears. So,
okay.
And I wanted to see what Reggie. I didn't know what Reggie was going to put as his quote. So I had a feeling that his quote was maybe going to ruin it too. So since it didn't, I am going back to the well. All right, you ready, Jamie? Because I know you're going to laugh when you see me. Nothing major, but I know you're still going to laugh. Hey, Coach, I can't see the ball because of the windows. Hey, the stadium's got an opening. I can't see the ball. Hey, why don't you put some like curtains or something? What, you want me to do? You want me to blow up the whole stadium and blow it up and build a new one? Come on, Jerry. I know we've made fun of you on this show before, but you need to go to like Lazy Acres freaking retirement home out in the middle of Podunk in the middle of Dallas and just go live on your own. You're almost as bad as the McCaskey family, and she's like 105. Okay? Jerry, I do not know why you even said this. You're sitting there, the CD makes a point that, you couldn't see, and I've been there, and it is, not like on the field, but like even out in the stands, like there is definitely light coming from the other side, and it's only that one side. So if you're in that end zone and it is, late afternoon, it's gonna happen. But did you guys see what happened at the press conference yesterday? Mike McCarthy's press conference?
Yes.
Guess what they put up, Jamie?
What was that?
They put up curtains to block the sun from coming into Mike McCarthy's press conference.
Oh, I thought you said Mike. I didn't see that. I thought you meant if we heard what Micah said about.
Oh yeah, Micah on the other hand, Micah literally pretty much said, "Oh, so what is going to be your coach? That's above my pay grade."
And then he was like, I feel for Zach Martin and guys who put in more work than Mike McCarthy ever did or ever will.
Yeah, ever did and ever will.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm like, okay. Is this like, yes, Jerry's part of the problem, but is he also bringing in players that are part of the problem? Jamie.
I mean, the whole organization is a problem. So yeah, they are bringing in players. Just a reoccurring issue for the past 30 years. I don't see it changing.
He's bringing in players that have big personalities, but he doesn't bring in coaches that can deal with those personalities. So when he had Michael Irvin and Dion, he had guys, he had Jimmy Johnson, and Barry Switzer kind of just took over Jimmy Johnson's players in one, but Jimmy Johnson was that guy who kept them in line, and they responded to him. I think he needs I don't want to say Deion Sanders, but I know that's been thrown around, but like, Bill Belichick-ish, a strong personality who can handle those players and somebody that they respect. Because it just seems like hearing Micah talk about Mike McCarthy, he doesn't respect him. Mm-hmm. And they need a coach that those guys can respect.
And I don't understand what they're doing because they gave up Amari Cooper for a 5th rounder, and then they turn around and give a 4th rounder for a guy that's not even half as talented.
Right. And Dak, they got Dak a 4th rounder. And I gave up a 4th rounder for Mingo. That just shows you how valuable a 4th rounder be, an early 4th. And I don't see how, I like Overshown. Overshown is a demon. That guy can play. But yeah, no. The Cowboys just keep cowboying.
No, and about that light, I did hear someone talking about that. I guess there was a WWE event there a while ago, and they had the same issue, and they just put curtains over it, just like they did.
And that's what CD asked. Can we have curtains? And he's like, no, we gotta blow up. What are you telling me? We gotta blow up the whole stadium? Oh, shut up, Jerry. All right, Jamie, it is time. All right, go ahead. Sponsorship. Go ahead and use our promo code GF2 on Underdog for first-time users and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. They have best ball, higher and lowers during the season for every major sport. MMA's coming up this weekend, the big fights this weekend. I'm sure they have boxing. I know they got League of Legends. I know they got. When I say every sport, I mean every dang sport. So go ahead, use GF2, use our promo code, and get up to $1,000 in bonus cash. And when the off season's here, I'm sure you'll be in the draft with Jamie. All right, Jamie, it is time for the cheat of the week. Why don't you start it off with your waiver wire?
Yeah, you have to add Audric Estime. I know in the offseason he impressed in training camp, but I think he was on IR after week 1, right?
Mm-hmm.
And since he returned in week 6, he on 27 attempts, he's averaging 5 yards a carry. So that's impressive there. Right now, he's a must-add. Stash him. You don't have to start him right away, just in case. Like we talked earlier, it still might be Javonte. But he did have 14 carries, and he saw 70% of the running back runs, and they were actually like late in the game, crucial times where they needed a win. So he's getting that trust, and I could just see him getting a bigger role going forward. The rest of the season, I can see him even taking over this backfield sooner than later.
Absolutely. Jordan, any thoughts on him?
The only thing with Estime and anybody who dons a Bronco uniform is the fact that Sean Payton may just change his mind and give some cash to somebody else, whether you did anything wrong or not. So you just hold on. If you have some of the other guys, you try to pick up Estime first. And if you have Javonte, you hold him for a week just to see how the touches play out this week. And then after that, you can kind of make an assessment of who, and that may change. But for now, yes, definitely he's a must-add player.
All right, Reggie, real quick, what do you think about Estime?
It's a good pickup. Path of least resistance for me in deep leagues. I'm going for a stash of Tyler Batty. The pass catching back in that situation is always valuable in that offense.
All right, Jordan, take it away with yours.
Yeah, staying with the Broncos somehow. Bo Nix, I talked about dropping one rookie quarterback, but you can pick up this one. He's playing. I don't know how many people need a quarterback, and but buys coming up and whatever. They're playing Atlanta this week, and then he has the Raiders after that. Two good matchups for him. He's been solid. They got blown out by Baltimore, but he had a decent game. He started off hot against Kansas City, then they kind of held him down, but he still finished in the top. I think he was a top 12 quarterback against the Chiefs, who is obviously a good defense. So going against Atlanta, going against two softer matchups, he should be able to get you to that 20-point range, which is solid for a quarterback. And also, I wanted to throw a defense out there that is going to have some favorable matchups for like the next 3 weeks. And that's the Texans. They are playing the Cowboys on Monday night. We talked about the 45 yards that Cooper Rush threw for. So that's who they have on Monday night. And then I'm trying to quickly pull up the other two matchups that I saw. And that is, hold on a second, guys. Sorry, I thought I had it up, but I don't. They are playing, I know it's two teams that stink. Mayonnaise Boy, Will Levis, and then possibly Mac Jones after that. So 3 solid matchups for a defense that you can rely on. The Texans obviously picked off Jared Goff 5 times on Sunday night. They look like they're getting their stuff together. A good matchup against the Cowboys, playing the Titans, and then the Jags. You can pick them up for sure.
Reggie, what do you think about his picks?
I like them both, and I think I dropped the Texans because they were going up against the Cowboys, and I looked at that as being a tough matchup for them with the dire straits that the Cowboys were in. So they might be out there. So check your waivers because I did look, and they were out there.
Jamie, real quick.
I like them. Even Bo Nix, I've been telling people since week 8 that they need to pick him up, even in single quarterback leagues, because he's got that top 10 upside. So I love that. If he's still out there, go grab him. I think he's only roster in 40% of leagues.
Yep.
Oh.
All right. So since we are on this train, I'm going to say it real quick. Thank you, Leo Chanel. Reggie, who is your waiver wire pickup of the week?
My waiver wire pickup is for those tight end premium leagues, and he looked good to the eye test last night. Davis Allen of the Los Angeles Rams has taken over that number one tight end spot there, it seems like. And we just seen Matthew Stafford put up 290-something yards. I want a piece of that. This role in this offense is something like Jake Ferguson role for the Cowboys. It's going to get some high-value targets. Maybe not as much volume, but tight ends tends to do well here when everybody is playing.
Jordan.
Yeah, I guess it's just one. I mean, yeah, he had 6 targets. Colby Parkinson was nowhere to be found last night. I don't know what's up with Tyler Higbee. Is he coming back? Is he?
I don't know. He's still on the pup.
Okay, so it's possible he may not come back. So
I have him on a team, and I thought he was coming back.
if he, I mean, it's late in the season, so even if he does, minimal role moving forward. So if Davis Allen took over this role completely, it's definitely a valuable. And you can hop on it before everybody really realizes it, because I didn't realize it until Reggie pointed that out. So yeah, he's taking over that role. So that's somebody that is a good pickup. And you don't have to spend probably don't have to spend anything on him because nobody's really even registering it right now.
Yeah. All right. So I didn't know who I was going to pick. I totally had no idea. But then I saw someone changed their pick. So I'm using a player that was on the sheet earlier. And both of you are probably wondering which one I'm going to pick. We don't know if the person that supposedly is the starter is going to play because of injury.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And this team at tight end is playing the Kansas City Chiefs. So when you play the Kansas City Chiefs and you have a tight end, guess what you do? You put them in your lineup and you score points. Buffalo Bills, Dawson Knox, go put him in your lineup if Kincaid isn't playing, because he will score some points. Even Adam Troutman scored some points for the Denver Broncos, and that's saying something. So Dawson Knox is my start of the week, and I would start him against my team. Jamie, what do you think about Dawson Knox this week?
Wasn't on my radar until you mentioned it. I thought he was hurt going into last week, but I guess he played. So, yeah, why not? You're only going to be able to play him next week because I think they're on a bye week in week 12.
Yep.
Yes.
So, yeah, if you need him this week, pick him up, throw him in.
Jordan, I know you brought him up, so go for it.
Yeah, I agree. Like you said, I had him on there, and then I took it off just because Bo Nix could be more long term. But yes, if Kincaid, and we don't know the severity of Kincaid's injury, it could be more serious than that. So definitely, and that's hoping, particularly for this week against the Chiefs, who are really bad against tight ends. Yes, you can start him. Moving forward, I would anticipate, I don't know how much he's going to be used because Kincaid, the more talented tight end, hasn't really been used like we wanted him to. But he's definitely worth the pickup to get some points this week against the Chiefs.
Reggie?
That's a good call because Knox and Allen has some chemistry, especially in the red zone. So they need that presence there, especially depending on if Cooper's going to play. We already know that Coleman's already ruled out this week. So they're going to need everybody they can get. They actually gave Curtis Samuel some love last week. I'm like, damn. As soon as I drop you, you want to start producing.
Yeah, absolutely. So it was a great show. We're on time. Let's throw it around the horn real quick, and then I'll give it out. Go ahead, Reg.
You can find me everywhere at the network. One is my moniker, wherever I be, but I'm here every week on the Fantasy Cheat Sheet for Going for Two Live.
Catch me next week. Hopefully I'll have a much better week in fantasy, but I'll be back next week to talk about it.
Yeah, every week here I'm going for two cheat sheet. I also do the Sunday Morning Star Sit Show, and you can find my article at the Fantasy Six Pack.
All right. You know where to find me. Drop the mic FF. You can find me here on Tuesday nights. You can find my article over on Dynasty Nerds. Other than that, I was waiting for someone to bring it up and they didn't. So I will bring it up while I'm throwing it out. For Reggie, for Jordan, for Jamie, who is now 2 spots ahead of me in SF